Is the light on?
You got 15 minutes.
Thank you, Rich. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time and the energy and effort to put together the application with us before. You know, and so the question that I'll start with is, he's got one person to pick. That's what he's got. He's got about 18, whatever. Why is his best choice?
I think I'm the best choice, and not to be overconfident, but I have experience as a judge. I've been a unified family court judge. Obviously, I don't shy away from the fact or hide the fact that I was not successful in my election, but I think you learn more from the shots you miss as opposed to the ones you make. I have name recognition. I have worked over the last 2 years to increase my contacts through my mediation practice in Volusia. I worked very hard to do that. So I've worked to basically, build on my shortcomings that happened the first time and say, okay, how do you meet more people? Luckily, as you know, as a mediator, it's nice because you're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So you meet people on a daily basis, and one side is not necessarily mad at you because you're not adverse. So you're trying to help, but it just gives me the opportunity. I think I've got contacts in St. John's. I've built more upon that. I've got contacts in Flagler Putnam. I obviously know I need more contacts in Volusia, but again, I've understood that, and I have worked extremely hard to do everything I can to get more contacts on there and meet more people. So I think it gives me, good recognition. I think as far as the job itself, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, why I'm qualified to be a judge. I think the best testament of that would probably be from the other judges in the circuit as well as attorneys who have come before me. So I think they're the best ones to say what my qualifications are for that. But I have the qualifications. I think I've got good name recognition throughout the entire circuit. And again, I've been working to only increase that over the last couple of years. So
You kept your board certification up in construction?
I have, yes, sir.
That is a daunting area.
A lot of CLAs, yes, sir.
The fifth, what were your thoughts about having applied to the fifth?
I've heard when I applied for the fifth, I had people tell me, so why would you apply to the fifth? It's different than the circuit court. And the way I've always treated it is, I don't see them as being mutually exclusive. To me, I love both aspects. I love circuit court, and if I could ever get on a district court appeal, I would love that too, because I love circuit court because you can get in front of people, you see people on a daily basis. Circuit court, you get to analyze and draft detailed orders, which I like as well. It was a great experience. It was, it was a good experience to go through it. It hasn't stopped me from saying I want to be a circuit court judge. I definitely want to be a circuit court judge. Again, I like both aspects of each court.
Two questions for you, kind of different fields, but tell me, you've founded the Tiger Bay Club in St. John's. What is that? Why did you do that?
Part of, to me, part of reaching more people and just becoming more ingrained is, obviously as a judge, it's hard to run a campaign because you're nonpartisan. And it's a very daunting task to do that. To me, the benefit of Tiger Bay is it's a nonpartisan political club, and I was a member of the Flagler Tiger Bay when I was a judge, and the president at the time, Greg Davis, actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to start one in St. John's, and they were going to help with it, and it was a great idea. To me, it's a great opportunity because you can have, really good political conversations from all viewpoints. It's a positive group. We do charitable work. It's just a way to get to know a lot of people and really see all sides of the spectrum.
Tell me about running an election during COVID.
The hard part about that was, and again, I know I said this to y'all last time, I don't want to make any excuses and say COVID, but the hard part about running through COVID is when you have a COVID election, everything stops. So everything you've done stops, and you basically have no meet and greets. You have to readjust how you campaign. And that was one of the challenges that I had, and quite frankly, we failed at, was adjusting to a COVID election to say, okay, how do we reach people when you can't talk to people? And if you knock on someone's door, they're gonna turn you away, rightfully so. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge to learn how to do it. It's a challenge to learn how to use other mediums, ways to campaign. And I think that's the benefit I have, is I've got the knowledge of that now too, to say, okay, we're in a different time. So how do we, modify some of the campaign strategies? How do we modify how we look at things? And, unfortunately at that time, when you're in the real-time moment of COVID, and, I think I was the first judge in 7th Circuit to get COVID. I was, doing hearings with COVID from my home computer, so I worked through COVID. I mean, to my credit, I did work through COVID, and I had a couple of attorneys even ask me sometimes, I had a cough drop, like, are you okay? And but it was, my work ethic was there, but it's hard to run a campaign in COVID just because you just can't get out and meet people. And you do have to adjust, and again, I own that. We have to adjust and say, maybe a little more TV, maybe a little more social media, maybe not so much, the door-to-door, the meet and greets are all shut down.
How often are you getting down to Volusia now? Because I know I've heard your name several times down there, so I know you are. But what are you doing down there, and how often are you working down there?
The benefit with my mediation practice is, right now, I would say about half my mediation practice through construction and family law is Volusia and Flagler. So I'm getting to meet people on, a weekly, almost daily basis. I've joined the Chamber of Commerce. It's hard to get to some of the events because when you're a mediator, you don't have the opportunity to say, hey, I'm leaving. You can't just leave and go to an event. But I'm trying to do what I can to get more exposure down there, to meet more people. And through the attorneys I've met, it's one of those things where you meet one person and then they introduce you to someone else, you meet someone else, and you just get to meet more people.
Family law, Putnam County?
I would welcome it. Putnam is a great area. I think last time, I was before you all, I mentioned that I was doing the epic food drives down there, and it's a great area. I would welcome that.
You work closely with Judge Hudson, didn't you, in person?
I did. Yes, sir. She was my mentor judge. So it's a very selfless task to be a mentor judge and to not only do your job but to help other future judges. And I give her a lot of credit. She was a fantastic mentor, and anytime I had a question, she was there. I could call her, ask her. So she is a great person. She was a great judge. She'll be a good retired judge. So.
Okay. Anything else? I have one last question. How do you see the civil bench and the criminal bench? Not that we have separate benches, but that we have separate. How do you see them interacting? What is the dynamic there in the judiciary? Is it collegial, not collegial, or is everybody supportive of everybody? If you have a need in family, but I'm over here doing, felonies. How does that?
I would tell you that the 7th Circuit is probably the best group of judges I've ever known and been a part of. And people in general, they're very collegial. And if you have a question on any aspect of law, I can tell you from personal experience, anybody can call anybody else on their cell phone, and it is the greatest group of judges I've ever seen. They will help, and it's the common theme of helping the public, and I think they see that, and they're just friendly with each other. It's great. I haven't seen any issues. Again, I think no matter what aspect anyone goes to in this circuit, someone's going to be there to help.